Good afternoon. I'm Dana Tyler. This is your CBS 2 News update for a Monday in August. Thank you for joining us. We begin with a volunteer firefighter on Long Island who was accused of setting fires in Bethpage instead of trying to put them out. Christopher Cordero appeared in court today. CBS 2's Mark Liverman has the story.
That Long Island firefighter still in jail here in Hempstead. He was granted bail earlier today, but so far he hasn't paid it, and nobody has paid it on his behalf either. Earlier this morning, though, we were there as he was walked out of a police station completely silent. He didn't say a single word to reporters. 20-year-old Christopher Cordero of Bethpage is charged with arson in at least 5 different cases going back to June of 2017. Now, police say 3 of them happened within the last month. The most recent one he's accused of happened yesterday, a shed fire right next to a home on North Herman Avenue. Another one that happened back in March, that was caught on video by a neighbor. A dumpster fire started by a Molotov cocktail that was just a few feet away from a home. In that one, you can see firefighters working to put it out. A neighbor there tells me he thinks he actually saw Cordero in the crew putting it out.
We heard the explosion. It was sort of an explosion because it was a Molotov cocktail, and when it went off, we came out and the fire department was already responding. The neighbors were all out alerting them to get out of their house.
I feel sorry for him, for his mental state, that he would have to resort to damaging someone's property and to put people at risk to get hurt.
And Cordero was arrested at the Bethpage firehouse where he volunteers. As for how he was caught, so far police haven't said. In Hempstead, New York, Mark Liverman, CBS 2 News.
The 2.5-year-long commuter alert began today for drivers who use Route 495 to the Lincoln Tunnel. This morning's rush hour went smoothly, but the Department of Transportation for the state of New Jersey says expect delays, bad delays as time goes on. 1 lane in each direction will remain closed for 30 months as crews make extensive repairs to the aging bridge. The next lane closure will be in the fall. This morning's lighter traffic flow could be credited to fewer commuters on the roads because of summer vacations and children still out of school. The DOT urges drivers to use alternate crossings or take public transportation. We'll have continued coverage of the $90 million 495 construction project right here on CBSNewYork.com. In a letter to Catholics, Pope Francis condemns the cover-up of sex abuse by priests, saying the heart-wrenching pain of these victims was long ignored, kept quiet, or silenced. The letter is specifically in response to the revelations of decades of alleged abuse by priests in Pennsylvania. Francis wrote, quote, "We showed no care for the little ones. We abandoned them." The Pope went on to say that Catholics must be involved in any effort to root out abuse. Cardinal Timothy Dolan also releasing a statement this morning echoing the Pope's letter. Cardinal Dolan said everyone must do everything they can do to prevent such abuse from ever happening again. Last Tuesday, a grand jury in Pennsylvania released a report alleging more than 300 priests had sexually abused at least 1,000 children over the last 7 decades. The city of New York is launching a pilot program offering free tattoo removal for people who used to be involved in gangs or were victims of sex trafficking. The Administration for Children's Services is offering pro bono tattoo removal for youths. The agency says often young people who've escaped gang life and sexual exploitation don't have the resources to get their tattoos removed. The ACS says it will identify youth in need of tattoo removal and connect them with medical professionals. Training will also be given to medical providers on gang dynamics to enhance the caregiver's knowledge and empathy. These free services, they are limited, the tattoo removal, so each request will be assessed on the immediacy of need. Children's Services says tattoos can hinder a young person's ability to get a job or move on positively with their lives. We have new information today about a police chief in New Jersey accused of trying to buy cocaine through the mail. 43-year-old Michael Coppola has resigned as chief of the Palisades Interstate Parkway Police Department. Coppola was arrested on August 9th after prosecutors say he went to a post office box to retrieve a cocaine order. He's charged with attempting to possess cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. Coppola is expected in court on Wednesday. Cooler day today in the tri-state area. Lingering showers for us, not much sun. Let's get right to CBS 2's John Elliott with a look at your weather.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. For a Monday, I know it's been kind of a bummer. So let's see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weekends we've had rain. So we're going to try to get you a nicer summer weekend coming up. These showers today on and off for the most part. More off than on, and it's light rain. Could see brief moderate rain, but not the kind of drenching downpours that we've been dealing with so many times recently. But with an east flow, it's definitely cooler. 77, the aspirational high. 79 tomorrow. Ultimately, a busier day overall with a 60% chance of rain. But that factors in the possibility of some late thunderstorms late Tuesday and then overnight Tuesday into midday on Wednesday. So we talk about leftovers. You know, some of the model runs early were showing it would wrap up in the morning, may linger into the first part of the afternoon on Wednesday. So as you plan, that's the busy period, later Tuesday into Wednesday, where we have a better chance for thunderstorms. Just mindful of the fact that they have been so capricious and damaging recently. 77 your high today, below normal. Still below normal tomorrow. And then warmest day of the week looks like it's going to be Wednesday with some leftover showers and possibly a thunderstorm. Again, right now, this is the busy period, late Tuesday through midday Wednesday. And then, finally, it's going to start looking and acting like summer.
On Long Island, a building that has served since the mid-1700s as a grist mill, a water mill, a tea house, and a tourist attraction is getting renovated. There has been money that has come forward, and CBS 2's John Diaz tells us about the restoration of the grist mill in the village of Roslyn.
It took almost 50 years, but finally residents got their wish. The Roslyn Grist Mill right here behind me on Old Northern Boulevard is getting a makeover. The historical Nassau County landmark dates back to the 1700s, so it has gone through many phases as an actual working watermill grinding grain, a tea house, and a popular tourist attraction, but now it's set to soon become an educational center. The town historian tells us that the grist mill's restoration has been repeatedly delayed because of lack of funding. It is now dilapidating. But this month, $440,000 in grants have been secured by the county, and the Roslyn Landmark Society has also raised a whopping $1 million from private sources to foot the restorations bill. Now, the project will take several years to complete, but officials hope to start this whole process by the fall. Reporting from Roslyn, John Diaz, CBS 2 News.
Thank you, John. There are parts of the old Tappan Zee Bridge that live on underwater, creating new places for wildlife to live, marine life. CBS 2's Don Daler has the story.
Along New York's iconic Long Island coast, not far from its shores, the state is dumping a reusable resource into its waters. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is behind the $4 billion Tappan Zee Bridge project, which is still under construction. And lurking just behind that is what's left of the old bridge.
Is there a bridge heaven? Well, there is a bridge heaven. Bridge heaven is you spend all your life above the water serving people, and then you go to bridge heaven, which is you go below the water.
More than 11,000 tons of recycled steel and concrete will be used to expand the state's artificial reef program. 33 barges are hauling the material from the bridge's old footprint down the Hudson River to the Long Island coastline. It's the largest renovation in New York history. Additional square footage for marine life that call the reefs home.
How is this not just a clever way of saving money by dumping this material in the ocean?
Artificial reefs are used all across the country, all across the world. It promotes the fishery, it promotes the ecosystem, it promotes recreation, they become diving sites, etc.
So there's nothing detrimental in the materials to the environment?
No, the materials are all cleaned, and what they provide is an ecosystem underneath.
Carl Lobu has been navigating these waters nearly all his life, and for the past 25 years as a marine scientist, he's helping protect them.
Putting material from the Tappan Zee Bridge isn't pollution. It's creating habitat that's really valued by a lot of different fish species.
In addition to helping the marine life, the governor's office says the expansion of the reef, which is about 2 miles offshore, will also help local businesses, encourage more recreational fishing and diving, and potentially add thousands of jobs. Don Dahler, CBS News, Fire Island, New York.
The new romantic movie, comedy it is, called Crazy Rich Asians, really did well this weekend, taking the top spot at the box office.
These people aren't just rich, they're crazy rich.
Oh, you really should have told me that you're like the Prince William of Asia.
That's ridiculous. Much more of a Harry.
This film exceeded expectations, generating just over $25 million in U.S. ticket sales. It's earned more than $35 million since it opened on Wednesday. A lot of people on social media also talking about the representation the all-Asian cast brings to Hollywood. While celebrating the cast, people are also acknowledging that it's just the first step in increasing diversity. Here's a sight you don't see every day. 2 goats roaming subway tracks along the N line in Brooklyn. Luckily, the power was off in this area. Police and animal control officers were hot on the hooves of these goats, and the goats are now in custody. Some service on the N and D routes were delayed while the NYPD tried to wrangle the goats. Every day, something different in Gotham. I'm Dana Tyler. Thanks for joining us here on CBSNewYork.com. We're also on all the time on Twitter and Facebook at CBS New York. I'll see you later today on television, CBS 2 News at 6 o'clock. Have a good day.